of the River Tyne. Take me home to the place that I call mine. It's a place I love best, 'cause it's better than the rest. Take me home to the banks of the River Tyne. There's lights that burn so brightly, in the northeast sky they shine. From a place that Geordies worship, where legends wear number 9. You can travel right round the world, even meet the Pope in Rome. But nothing beats the feeling of when you come back here to home. No matter how life changes, we'll never be far apart. The northeast always home, and it's always in your heart. Take me home to the banks of the River Tyne. Take me home to the place that I call mine.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to It's All Black and White TV. And this is the warm-up show for Newcastle United versus AFC Bournemouth. And I've got Rolly with me. How are you, Rolly?
I'm good, thanks, Tony. Pleased to be here.
Yeah, good. We're on with Newcastle shirts as well. It's nice. We've got proper football back, guys. Yes, proper football. It's about time this happened. World Cup, bye-bye. We've had enough of you. Let's get back to the proper stuff. And tonight, it's the return of this competition. Yes, it's the Carabao Cup. And, you know, the three-handle trophy, the AFL Cup, the League Cup, whatever you want to call it.
Whatever you call it.
We want to get our hands on that. We want to get our hands on that in February. So let's hope that happens. Let's jump in and see who's on the comments. Davey's on. He says, good evening, Tony and Rolly. Good evening, Davey. I hope you're well, mate. And look forward to the show tonight. I mean, we've got literally, how long is it? Sorry, about 10 minutes till the team news comes out. And we shall find out who we've got tonight. Who's playing. Looks like there's quite an array of players there at the moment. Trippier's there and Wilson's there, so that could be a clue as well. Leslie's in. She says, hi, Tony. Got my alarm set. Found a stream. Amazed I'm awake for your live. Yeah, well done. Great effort, Leslie, because Leslie's in Hong Kong at the moment, so they're well ahead of us.
Oh.
It's probably probably Wednesday morning there now, isn't it, Leslie? So I think it's about 3:45 in the morning.
Oh, that's devotion for you.
Yeah. Tanji says proper football now. Yeah, absolutely, mate. Proper football. This is what we've been waiting for. Back to what we love. Back to the tune. We love the tune. That's what we all thrive on. And TV talking.
That's one of the problems of having the World Cup in the summer and in the winter, because normally the World Cup is something to do whilst we wait for the transfer window to open. In the summer, definitely. Keep us going in between seasons. So it's been really crazy having it in November.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's just been absolutely awful having this World Cup in the winter. You know, so let's hope it never happens again, and let's hope, let's hope it goes back to normal service in June when it should be. Really, it will be in 4 years' time because it's in the States and that, isn't it? So we'll be all right. It'll be back in June then, but we don't want to see another Winter World Cup again, that's for sure, because it doesn't really go well, does it? So, let's hope. But like I say, let's see what team news comes out tonight. So, guys, if you like what you see, please hit the like button. It really does help the channel, the search settings, and it's good for the algorithms. So, if you give that a like, that would be absolutely fantastic if everybody smashes a like. Also, if you're new to the channel, then please hit the subscribe button. It's free to do so, helps the channel grow, and also bell notification lets you know when I've got a pre-record on, a live show as I am now, or any upcoming shows. Talking about subscribers, I've had a couple more today. I'm now at 183, so I'm now 70 away from that magical 200. So if I got to 200 by the end of this year, that would be a fantastic achievement in my eyes, considering I've only been going 2 months. So to every one of you, 183 that have subscribed so far, I say thank you very much, a top effort. And yes, guys, if you haven't subscribed, please hit that subscribe button. As I say, it really does help my channel grow as well. and I've got some. I'm hoping to get some good guests coming on as well, so keep an eye out for that as well. I'm not going to say too much at the moment, but I've got one guest who I need to speak to. I've got to email him, and hopefully we'll get him on at some point, and that will be good crack as well. So so onwards and upwards, especially for 2023 coming up as well. So some more comments have come in. Talking to Leslie. Leslie says it's 2:26 local time there. Wow, in the morning.
Wow.
And Davey says, FFC, you're keen, aren't you? But Davey says us Bladonians play a different class, Leslie. And she says, no, I just want to catch the match. Absolutely. Tanji says, looks like Bournemouth have loads of illness in their camp. I fully expect us to win. I hope so, Tanji. I really do, mate. I'll say 2-0, but, who knows? Davey says, I hope so, Tanji, as well. Troll says, evening, Tony and guest. Evening, Trolls. Yeah, my guest is Rose. So, yeah. And evening, all says Trolls. And Leslie, and he says that to Leslie as well. I mean, let's make no bones about it. It's not an easy game tonight. I mean, we did draw with Bournemouth back in September in the Premier League, and we didn't play our best game that day, if we're all honest about it. I mean, what's your take on tonight's game? What do you want to see from Newcastle tonight?
I think we're going to field a pretty strong side. Maybe not all the big guns, but I expect Lascelles to start at centre half and captain the side. But I think the majority of the side are going to be what would be our regular first team. All the ones that are pushing first teamers, so Matt Targett might get a start. I think Jacob Murphy will probably start. Chris Wood will start. I think Almiron will probably start as well, just to get him ready for Boxing Day. Because at the end of the day, you're looking at an area where we've got this game. You haven't played for, was it 6 weeks? We've got a big game on Boxing Day, so you're going to want to get the majority of your first team playing an actual competitive game rather than a friendly. So I think it'll be a pretty good side. I hope so anyway.
Yeah, I mean, I'll just share this. This is on the official Twitter page. This is the players around, so take out of it whatever you want to take it, but let's put that on. There we go. There's Mickey.
Smiling as ever.
Darlow. Wilschi. John Joe. Lascelles. Jacob Murphy. Big Dan Byrne. Fabian Shares there. Target. There's Trippier, Botman. Look at the size of Botman compared to Trippier. J7, Manquillo. And Longstaff. Mark Gillespie. There you go. Joe Willock. Chris Wood, Nick Pope. Not seen Karius yet, so maybe Karius isn't playing then. Now I've said that, he'll probably walk in next. Ah, there's Bruno. He looks happy to be back. Yes, sir. So there we go, guys. So so that's the lads turning up anyway. So we just now await this team news from Eddie Howe, and is there going to be any surprises in there? Well, we wait and see, don't we? That's the thing. I mean,
should be out in a couple of minutes.
Surprise us well and truly tonight. It should be, yeah. It shouldn't be long now, anyway. But Eddie likes to keep us waiting. So, we know what Eddie has for keeping us waiting anyway, so we just have to wait and see. It's a bit different from the World Cup, isn't it? Because when it was the World Cup, the England team sheet was out an hour and a half before the game started, wasn't it? So I don't know if that was just a FIFA thing or something, but I mean, what's your prediction for tonight, Rolly?
I'd go for a conservative 2-0.
Yeah,
we're gonna. I think we're gonna put a strong side out, but I'd say Bournemouth, they were playing well as we went into the break. I don't want to get too optimistic just because I've had sickness in the camp. We don't know how long ago that was, whether they could be fully back. Don't know how they've been. We don't even know whether they're going to put the full strength side out or not, or how strong their side is going to be. So, I think Mill's quite reasonable.
I mean, know what kit they're going to wear tonight anyway, and the kit they're wearing tonight is this one. This is their away kit for tonight because they've put it out another outing for this kit. So that's the colours that Bournemouth will be in tonight, and not the red and black stripes. So there we go. So we're just awaiting the team news. Yeah. And so I'll just check this team news is out now. It should be out now. It is, so I'll just get this sorted out and then we'll get it on screen. So we'll get that up. Looks a fairly good team. So I'll just upload this now to the StreamYard and then we'll put it on screen because it's better if I do it that way because normally it's just trying to find it now where I've put it. Let's find it. We have to just put it on screen actually because I think I'm having a few problems trying to find it where it's saved to. But yeah, I'll put it on screen now and then I'll try and find it anyway. So there we go. The team tonight is Nick Pope in goal, Kieran Trippier, Fabian Schär, Sven Botman, Dan Burn, Bruno Guimaraes, Sean Longstaff, Joe Willock, Miggy Almiron, Joe Linton, and Callum Wilson. So it's a very strong lineup. It's the first strong lineup.
That's full strength.
Yeah, that is.
That's a full strength.
And on the bench, Darlow, Lascelles, Shelvey, St. Maximin, Ritchie, Target, Manquillo, Wood, and Murphy. So Kieran Trippier captains the side tonight against AFC Bournemouth.
He's going out to win.
Yes, that's what he's doing. Yeah, you can tell, can't you?
Yeah.
That's what he's doing. He's going out to win that game tonight.
Because that's pretty much the side I'd pick for the game against Leicester.
Yeah. So maybe once that Leicester, maybe he's wanting that for the maybe he's putting the side out today to give them some minutes for that Leicester.
Yeah.
For Leicester.
That shot.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
But that is not a bad lineup, is it?
No, I love that. I love that lineup. They've got 6 days till Boxing Day, so they've got time to rest. It's like a normal league fixture. The time you've got in between them. If you played on the Sunday, when you play on the Saturday, you've got 6 days, and that's normal. So that's good. That's good.
And the Bournemouth lineup tonight is Travas in goal, Cook, Meffam, Solanke, Christie, Smith, Kiefer Moore, who had a great World Cup, by the way, Senesi, Billing, Phil, we're going to have to keep an eye on again, Philip Billing, Anthony, and Zamora. That is the starting 11, and their substitute benches. Playing Marcondes, Stacey, Law, Sakiri, Hill, Greenwood, Sadi, and Adu Adeji. So there you go. That is the Bournemouth lineup for tonight as well. So I mean, yeah. But like I say, that's not a bad team tonight to start things off, and I'm really happy with that lineup tonight. To be honest with you, Rolly, and like you say,
we're going all out to win this thing.
Yes, yeah, we are.
It's great. So if we apply ourselves like we have been doing, we should be fine on this one. Won't need penalties.
Yeah. Hopefully not, no. We'll win it in the 90 minutes, I would think. But they are shared on screen. There's the Bournemouth team on screen as well. Just take that up a touch. There we go. So that's the Bournemouth team for tonight.
Excuse me.
And we should have enough to beat that Bournemouth team. Thankfully, they haven't got Neto in goal tonight because he had a blinder against us, didn't he, in September? Everything good and we were saving, wasn't he? The only thing he couldn't get near was the penalty. But other than that,
we weren't very good.
They look like they're playing some good first team players in that team. But I think, to be fair,
I don't think it's their strongest 11.
We should have enough. No, I don't think it is at all. It's definitely not their strongest 11. But that is your Bournemouth team for tonight against us. And and like I say, there's the Newcastle lineup there. So I've got it saved now, so it's on there now. So it's better. You can see it more now. And again, it's Nick Pope, Kieran Trippier, captain, Fabian Schär, Sven Botman, Dan Burn, Bruno, Sean Longstaff, Joe Willock, Miggy Almiron, J7, and Callum Wilson. So that is your starting lineup. Guys, what do you think about that starting lineup tonight? And what's your score predictions? Get them in the chat, please. And I'm going to go to some comments now as well. So, right, let's get to where we were. I like coffee. Hi, Tony, Rolly and all. Hi, I like coffee. Hope you're well, mate.
Hi, coffee.
And everybody's talking to each other. I like coffee. Tony and Rolly look all ready for house. Starting 11 today. Yep, we are in our shirts. Yeah, absolutely, mate.
If I lose several stone and a good 20 years, actually more than that. Make that 30 years, and then I might stand.
Yeah, I'm not far away from losing 2 stones, so yeah, I've done well. Troll says 6 days to Leicester, so plenty of time. Rest for the A team. Well, not plenty of rest for them because they're playing tonight. Lascelles has a mistake in them every match, says Trolls. Yeah, fair enough, he does. Yeah, Trolls, we fear no one. Absolutely.
No.
We don't fear anybody whatsoever. Some team, says Davey. Yeah, absolutely. Mark's in the house. Hi, Mark. Hope you're well. He says, is the game on any IPTV tonight? There is no overseas TV channels that it's on. So you just have to dig around and try and find it somewhere. And I'm sure you will get it. Tanji says he's doing the right thing, putting out a strong lineup out, get the game won, then make subs. Yeah, absolutely, Tanji. I totally agree.
Yeah.
Troll says that's a team I want to see. Only I would have had Big Joe in midfield and ASM at left wing. Else it's perfect. Yeah. Maybe ASM's not fully fit because he had that knock on Saturday. Maybe he's just keeping him on the bench as a precaution.
Yeah.
Gary, have you got a link for the game, Tony, mate? Yeah, I'm sorted. Thanks, Gary, mate. Yeah, absolutely, mate. Cheers. Thank you anyway, Gary. I like coffee. 5-0 Newcastle. We're going to have a party like the Wenger boys. Well, hey, do you know what? Why not? Let's have a party. It's nearly Christmas after all, isn't it? You know?
Yeah.
It'll soon be there. But, yeah, I mean, guys, that's a terrific team tonight. And I know I said 2-0, but maybe I might change my mind now because I think we could even score another couple. So the main thing is, as long as we get the game won tonight, we do it in 90 minutes. We don't go to penalties. We just do it in 90 minutes, get the game won, and then move on to Leicester City on Monday. But this is a good game because you like a competitive game before you get back into Premier League action after the 6-week break for the World Cup as well. So, and I bet Bruno's really happy to be back as well because, I mean, he hardly played in that World Cup.
And
yeah, I mean, how he wasn't getting in that squad over Fred is beyond me. I mean, Bruno's clearly a better player than Fred. Troll says main thing is Wood isn't in. Yeah, but to be fair, he didn't do too bad on Saturday, and he showed Harry Kane how to score a penalty, that's for sure. So, yeah, he ain't bad for penalties, as Chris Wood. So maybe if it did go to penalties, we'll bring Wood on as well. But let's hope it doesn't go that far and we win it. Just wonder if Callum Wilson scores tonight, because remember, this is his first game against Bournemouth. If he scores against Bournemouth tonight, will he celebrate? That'll be interesting. I don't think he will, if I'm honest.
I mean, it's been a few seasons since he left Bournemouth, so it's not like it's his first season immediately after he's left.
Yeah, but he might have a bit of respect for Bournemouth and think, I'm not going to celebrate.
But Wilson doesn't have an over-exaggerated celebration anyway. It's just run to the corner and then salute to everyone. So
yeah.
So it's not overstated, so I don't think that'll be a problem for
him. Joel says Wood does all he can add with a couple of passes, but that was it. Yeah, I mean, he's not an out-and-out goal scorer as Chris Wood. He's not a striker, is he? But
it's not dynamic, but if you give him if you give him good balls into the box or penalties, he'll get a few goals.
Yeah. And Trolls also says Woods does F1. He's had a couple of passes and that's it. Yeah, I mean, to be fair, I mean, he came in, he done the job that he was asked to do, which he did do, and that's all you can ask for, really, isn't it? You know. But I mean, I was on a Bournemouth podcast last night. If you haven't seen the video, it's out there. I've shared it on my Twitter as well. And Craig, nice guy from Bournemouth fan, he believes this game will end 1-1 and it'll go to penalties. I said 2-0 to us, but yeah. So we wait and see. I mean, not long till kickoff now. I mean, there's only 48 minutes till kickoff, so we're all getting excited and it'll be nice because it'll be a full house as well. So, Davey says Eddie doesn't want to sell Wood. Yeah, maybe unless we're getting another striker in, then I think Wood may go. But because you can't have all these strikers, and especially if we bring say Thuram in January, where's he going to fit in? Where's Wood going to fit in there then? Troll says Wood is never in the right position. Ever I've watched the matches, he's awful. Time to get rid. Yeah, I'm sure we'll get rid in time, but the
problem with Wood is he's not a dynamic striker like Wilson is. So when you put him in, he doesn't play the same. He's more of a hold-up, link-up player. The games that he's been playing recently, he's been holding the ball up and playing people in quite well. But if you're expecting to score 20 goals a season, you're barking up the wrong tree. He's not that type of striker, never has been.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he's had a few good seasons in the Premier League where he scored 12 goals maybe. Yeah. But other than that, he's not a 20 goal a season striker, that's for sure. He's not a goal scorer because let's put it into perspective. You've got a striker and you've got a goal scorer. Goal scorer will continue to score your goals. Like Wilson's a goal scorer. But a striker will play and hold up play. And I mean, when you think Alan Shearer had his all-round game, didn't he? Alan Shearer could hold it up, bring others into play, but he could also smash it in the back of the net as well. So Chris Wood's not that type of striker. He's more the hold-up play striker to bring others into play and help assist them as well.
And score the odd penalty.
And score the odd penalty or the odd goal as well. I mean,
Yeah.
he has scored as well. So
He scored a good one, was it Southampton this season?
Yeah.
That's a really good strike. And
he took that really well.
And he also got the one last season against Southampton.
The header.
To get us back into the game.
Yeah, so he's not really too bad. Yeah. Troll says, Wood doesn't link up good either. I haven't seen a lot of that in my opinion. And he says, but got to say, it's just my opinion about Wood. Absolutely, Trolls. Yeah, We've all got opinions. And that's what football's about, having opinions. And that's your opinion. We all have. If we all had the same opinion, it would be a boring world, let's just say. But we've all got opinions. That's what football is about. It's about opinions. Like I said, if we had a top-class winger in, left winger, and we got a £50 million bid for ESM, would we sell him? I would say yes, because if you've got, where's he going to fit into the team? That's my opinion. Now, Rowley was against that, but that's what it's all about. It's all about opinions at the end of the day. Tanji says Shearer would drift wide, put crosses into the box. Wood is, he is Wood. Yeah, absolutely, Tanji. I mean, Shearer had it all, didn't he? I mean, Shearer was not only a great strike and goal scorer, but a terrific crosser of the ball as well. Shearer's all-round play was absolutely fantastic, wasn't it?
Yeah. I think that one of the problems we have with Wood is that we keep comparing him to strikers that are dynamic and a lot better than him. I think some of his work that he does do, it goes unnoticed because he's not going to get the goals that Wilson will. He's not a dynamic player like Maxi or Isaac. He's not an all-round superb striker like Shearer. And these are the guys that have played for us or are playing for us that he gets compared with. So he's always going to look bad. But the one thing you got to say for him is that he's 100% committed and puts in a shift. Along with what he does in his hold-up play. Sometimes it's good, sometimes not so good. But he does a job.
Yeah.
I think the other thing you got to remember is that we bought him when Wilson was out for a long term, and we needed a striker desperately, and he was the only one we could get quickly because of the buyout clause.
And someone who had Premier League experience as well.
Yeah, and he did a job.
Yeah. I mean, Alan says, even Antonio Noel, is Isak still injured? He's not in the team tonight. And he said he wants to get him into tip-top condition to make sure he can obviously play a lot longer than he has been. We don't know what this injury is from Sweden. I mean, they said it was a thigh injury, but a thigh injury would normally take 3 to 5 weeks to heal. It's been longer than that. They said he'd come back after the World Cup. But the problem is...
Sorry, Tony. We did say I had a setback, and we don't know how far that set him back on his recovery.
Yeah, but the club haven't said what the actual injury is, and they don't have to explain it either, but it would be nice so we could know what was going on with Alexander Isak, because, we spent a lot of money on him, and we just want to see him play, and hopefully not too far away.
Yeah, I understand that, but I think at the end of the day, I think they're being overcautious. They want to make sure that he is 100%, and that once they actually start playing him, it's not going to re-injure himself. And at the moment, it's not. We have no need to rush him back because we've been playing so well. So we've got the luxury.
Absolutely.
It's the first time in a long time we've had the luxury of having a star player injured and not feeling the need to rush him back because the team is playing so well. And in the long run, you'd rather have him out for another 3 or 4 weeks and play for the rest of the season than bring him back. He re-injured himself and is out for 3 or 4 months.
Yeah. Wayne says, evening everyone. Evening, Wayne. I hope you're well, mate. Troll says, putting in a shift isn't good enough anymore, in my opinion. Yeah, like we say, Trolls, that's fair enough, mate, you know. Sometimes he's not the greatest of players, but we all know he's not the greatest player. But I think he just does what he can do physically on that pitch. But other than that, yeah, I do agree. He doesn't bring a lot to the table, that's for sure. Tanji says, the physical, stronger striker these days are doomed, unfortunately, because players don't like a physical battle. Players would rather fall over like dominoes. Yeah, totally agree with you on that one. We've seen a lot of it in the World Cup. Rat Tabuznes says, let's be honest, since Shearer left, we haven't had a prolific striker since Demba Ba. Wilson gets 10 at most, Woods gets 5, if that, to be honest. Newcastle will buy a proper goal scorer if they want to. Yeah, I mean, the thing is, I've always said, if Wilson was fit for 38 games a season in the Premier League, he would hit at least 20 every season. And I said this to the Bournemouth fan last night that I went on to his podcast, and even he agreed with me. If Wilson was fit for a whole season, he would bang you at least 20 in. That's for sure.
His strike rate's a goal every other game. So you're talking 19, 20 goals a season. And he got eight last season. Was it 9 last season in 18 games? Which is a goal every other game. It's just he hasn't played enough games.
Yeah. I mean, Rat goes on to say, compete with City, Haaland will hit 40 goals this season. I'll tell you what, without a doubt, he's going to hit a lot of goals this season, Haaland. I mean, he's on fire, isn't he? I mean,
it's a bit of an unfair
to get back
because of the team that he's playing in.
Yeah. I mean, it's not only that, he's got the quality, he's got class in front of goal as well, but it's also the team around him who can provide him with them key passes as well, and give him the service. Tanji says, agree, if Wood chips in with 5-10 goals over a season, bearing in mind he doesn't play every game, then come off the bench, that would be a good return. Yeah, absolutely. It's not a bad return, is it, really? So it's one of those. Rat says, you got to watch Liverpool and City or 4-3-3, high pressing tactic, quality players will come in. Miggy, Sant, Maximum and Wilson will be gone the next year. It's progression. I'm not sure about Almiron. I don't know. I think Wilson, I mean, I was on the Bournemouth thing again last night and he asked me, how long do I think Wilson will last? And I said, maybe another year or two, maybe. I don't know. You might get another season out of him, but I think after that, you'll have to have him replaced because his legs will start to go.
The one thing I find quite interesting, everyone is talking about, Maxi's got to go, such and such has got to go. Some of our better players, yet we haven't got rid of all the dead wood yet, which is my argument about if we got a 50 million bid for Maxi and we got, say, Gakpo in, would you take the 50 million? I say no, because we still got people like, with the greatest respect, Matt Ritchie, Dummett, Gillespie, and players that don't even make the squad that we've got to get rid of before we can look at getting shopping up some of the better players, because we still need we haven't got the squad depth. We need to be in a situation where we've got squad depth like Man City. Then you can start selling your Maxis and your Wilsons next season. Next season is not the time to be selling our better players. We want to be getting rid of some of the players that I mentioned, Manquillo, even Lascelles possibly. Though I think he'll probably stay another couple of seasons because of the influence he has off the pitch. But as a player, he's a Premier League centre half, but he's not an elite player. We're moving towards elite players, but you can't do it all in one window.
No, not all in one window.
Yeah. So I mean, I personally, I think that it would be a mistake to sell the likes of Maxis, even if we did get good offers on, until we've got a stronger squad.
Yeah. I mean, Alan McTier says it's nice to see a very decent lineup tonight instead of giving the bit part players a run out. At least we have intent now. Yeah, absolutely. And the thing is, because we've got a competitive game before Leicester, it's getting the players back into that competitive mode again as well. It's all right having friendlies because they're great for fitness, but they're not competitive games. You want something that's competitive, and this is ideal. Had we gone out to Palace in the Cup, we wouldn't have been playing tonight, so we wouldn't have had this competitive game. So thankfully, we have this game because we beat Palace. Wayne says, I think Eddie's waiting until Isak's 100% fit. Yeah, he is. He wants to wait. He's in top condition, which, to be fair, we can sit back and we can wait for him. That's the thing, we can wait. Paul says, our strongest lineup tonight. Yeah, absolutely. Rat says, I'm sorry to be a top 4 team, but to be a top 4 team, you need a world-class striker like Osimhen. Do you know what? I would love Osimhen. I really would. I mean, he's a fantastic striker for Napoli. It's whether, one, would he want to come at this time to us? Because we can't give him Champions League football unless we finish in that top 4 this season. That may be something we look at in the summer. But Osimhen, yes, he's a top-class striker. I would have him in a drop of a hat, absolutely.
Yeah, so would I. But the way we're playing at the moment, we're playing like a top 4 team, and we're in the top 4.
Yeah.
We've got a very good striker in Wilson, and potentially a world-class one in Isak. So
yeah. Troll says Woods has the wage of 82,000 a week, so he should do better. Yeah, possibilities. Yeah, exactly. Maybe we don't sometimes play to his strengths. Maybe that's the problem as well. So
I think that's a lot of it, to be honest, because we don't put many, apart from set pieces, we don't put many crosses into the box.
Yeah. Wilson says, Paul says Wilson has just got a new contract. Yeah, he's got a 2-year deal, so maybe that might be his final contract with us. Maybe.
Yeah, I think so.
Foxy's in the house. Hello, Foxy. Hope you're well, mate. He says Miggy's a definition of high quality pressing, lol. Yes, he is, absolutely. Miggy does press. I mean, as I've said before, when you watch Wilson come on as a sub for England in the World Cup, he was in the Eddie Howe mode. As soon as he went on, he was pressing them players on the opposite teams, and they were like, hang on, what's going on? Yeah, we can't cope with this because they're not used to having that. And that's just what Eddie Howe's instilled into the team. Rat says, Tony, if Newcastle at the top, that squad will go fast. Champions League is mile ahead of the Premier League standard. We will need 2 quality players in each position. Yeah, if we do get in the Champions League, we will have to strengthen, and I'm sure we will strengthen. And I think that's why we're bringing a lot of these small sponsors in.
Yeah.
That you can bring in without Premier League approval. So if you get a sponsor for £1 million a season, and you're like Man City, you've got 100 of them, that's £100 million coming at the club per season, because the club has got to start generating its own funds. And that's the problem. Under the former owner, we weren't generating enough of our own funds. And that's why our new owners have got a lot of work to do for the club to generate its own funds, so we get around the financial fair play. And that's the only way we can do it.
I mean, to be honest, the previous owners didn't have the personnel to do that. These lot have brought in the right people. I mean, since Eels has arrived, we've got Noon, we've got Monster, we've got sportsbreak.com, STC, was Vo, the video platforming people. That's about nearly half a dozen. The Noon one was actually for more money than Fun 88, and they're the sleeve sponsor.
Yeah.
So these guys know what they're doing.
Don't forget Saudia as well, the channel partner.
Yeah.
Monster and STC as well. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we've done really well with these sponsors, getting them in as well. And I mean, yeah, Champions League football does bring a lot of money to the club as well, which is what you need. So let's go back into some more comments. Troll says, and what we seem to forget is that the teams around us are strengthening their squads. Yes, they are. I mean, hopefully our owners on Boxing Day might have a word with the owners of Leicester and see if they can thrash out a deal for Maddison pre-January. Who knows? And if we get Madison, that's definitely a great stride towards staying in that top four as well. Rat says if Newcastle at the top four, that spending will go mental, and PIF will be spending big like City. Champions League is worth £320 million. Yeah, it's a lot of money because you get a lot of TV revenue and sponsorship and everything. So yeah. He says Tony City smashed this league but can't win the Champions League, mate. So we got a lot of work to do. Oh, yeah, I mean, City's having a hard time trying to win that Champions League, aren't they? And you look at it and you think, why haven't they won the Champions League yet? And that's a surprising thing. When you look, Liverpool's won it, and Chelsea's won it, and you think, well, why haven't Man City managed to smash it in it? I just don't know what's up with City. They seem to get the semi-finals, and then they just seem to stutter. They've been to a final, but then they lost in that as well. So I don't know. Don't know what's going on with City on that side.
I mean, the thing you've got to remember when you start comparing us to City is that, in comparison, we were at a standing start compared to them, because they were a mid-table bottom, top half of mid-table team when they were taken over. It took them a few years to actually start challenging. We were 19th when we were taken over, and within 12 months, we're sitting in third place. So it's just been a miraculous rise. But there's a lot of work to do, and a lot of it's on squad depth and the youth system, and some of the young players we brought in. We got a glimpse of them in the friendlies against Al Hilal and Rayo Vallecano, and some of them look. There's a lot of promise in the under 23s, under 21s. And Alex Murphy, the centre half we bought in the summer, looked really astute in his positioning. Dylan Stevenson got a goal. Joe Miley, who's only 16, got a run out at the weekend, and there's Joe White. None of them actually looked out of place in the first team. Like friendlies, understandably, but the talent's there. Of course, we got Garan Coal coming over as well.
Yeah, absolutely. He'll be going straight out on loan, though. That's the problem. He's going out on loan, so he won't be staying with the club. Tanji says, if we go through tonight, who would you rather go out, Liverpool or City? Do you know what? Well, probably more City, but then I don't really mind who goes out in that game, because
we can beat
whichever team goes out, it's another big six team gone. So the way I look at it is, I think that one that goes out. Sorry, Rolly?
I think we can beat either of them, especially if we get home.
Ideally, next round's the quarterfinals, so we would like a lesser team again.
Yeah.
And then you get the semi-finals, and it's a two-legged affair.
Yeah.
So you've got two legs to put it right. Paul says Champions League is an off game, a sprint, not a marathon. These English teams hammer the most Champions League teams these days. Yeah, they do. I mean, we've seen it happen. Rat says, Tony, I do agree we have some good players, but if we get top four, PIF will start pushing cash into the club.
Yeah.
They can to a degree, yeah, and but let's just see what happens first. I mean, we've got to get in the Champions League first. And although we are in a great position at the moment, I've always said, let's see where we are come April. If in April we're in that top four, then we push to stay in that top four. I mean, I don't want to build myself up thinking, oh, great, this is great, we're in the top four. I love it at the moment we're in the top four. But I want to see the sustainability, and we stay in there and sustaining this throughout the season. If we can sustain this throughout the season and stay in that top four, then happy days, I'll be ecstatic. In fact, I'll be more than ecstatic, because, I mean, we could even push for the title at that rate if we sustain this all the way through the season. But we've got to sustain it first of all. And remember, we've only lost one league game, and that was through that referee down at Liverpool who played the extra time, the extra minute and a half, where I don't know where he actually got that minute and a half from, because Pope wasn't down for 3 minutes, he was only down for a minute and a half, so it should have ended there and then on 96.5 minutes. not 98 minutes, or not wait till Klopp puts up the board and says, wait till Liverpool score before you blow the whistle. So, yeah, let's just see what happens. But while we're riding this crest of a wave and we're third top and we're doing so well, we're above Liverpool, we're above Man United. Let's see how far we can go this season.
Yeah.
And the games next week that come up will tell us that. And when we play Arsenal, that will give us a good guide as well where we are as well. So let's just wait and see. But, you know, things are positive and it's great we've got the club back. The club's on a level where it should be, but we can push further and let's see where we end up at the end of the season. That's what I say. But there's no harm in people getting carried away. You know, I haven't got a problem with people getting carried away. I like to get carried away myself as well. But, you know, I said before the ball was kicked, we would win the Carabao Cup, we would finish 7th and get the FA Cup semi-final. That was my prediction before the season started. So, I mean, if that doesn't come to anything, then fair enough. If we win the Carabao Cup, I'll be gutted because I should have probably put a bet on it, you know. But, yeah. Talking about putting bets on, breaking news tonight coming out the FA. Ivan Toney's now been charged with another further 30 betting offences now. So, yeah, so we wait and see what happens with Ivan Toney now. It's not looking good for him, I'm afraid. But, innocent till proven guilty in my eyes, though.
So if he's proven guilty, is it, does he get banned for a certain period of time?
He can do, yes. I don't know how long it'll be for, but they'll have to come up with something like that. But at the moment, he's innocent till proven guilty, as I say. Any court of law, you're innocent till proven guilty. Foxy says, not particularly true. Man City have been the top 4 in previous seasons without playing a world-class striker who was Chelsea's world-class striker last season. They made the top 4. Yeah, I mean, Lukaku wasn't really a top-class striker for Chelsea, was he? I mean, and you're right about City. I mean, they had Aguero, but once he went, who was their top-class striker? Absolutely. Sorry, Rolly?
I was going to say that, I mean, it's been a few years since City have had a out-and-out striker. Say Aguero's the last one, and then they've had Gundogan, but he's more of a midfielder or number 10. And since they've got Haaland, they've got a world-class striker, but they've had good strikers, but none that you would say were world-class.
If you look at a lot of these teams now, Rolly, they don't play with like an out-and-out striker now. They all play strikers. Even the wingers play strikers.
Yeah.
That's the way they do it now. Paul says, Piff have already spent $1 billion. They're already putting cash in the club. Yeah, absolutely. They're spending money well and they're doing the club up as well. And Eddie Howe said yesterday in his press conference, it's actually nice the players have got somewhere to eat now at the training ground because that's all being developed now. So, you know, this is how much money's being spent. At least we haven't got wheelie bins and paddling pools no more. They've all gone now. Tanji says if we won the Champions League this season, we would be doing okay with this formation and tactics. Yeah, I totally agree, Tanji, because if we were playing our football, that pressing and that intensity, that would frighten a few teams in Europe and they wouldn't know what had hit them. Rat says the only problem is he's 28 now, Miggy, so how we'll be looking for a player to bring in to transcend Miggy out one day. Yeah, but it depends how fit Miggy keeps himself. I mean, some players can play. I mean, look at Messi the other day. He's 35. Who would think he was 35 running around that World Cup final? You know?
I mean, I hate to bring him into the conversation, but if you look at the shape that Ronaldo's in at 37.
Yeah.
And he's super fit. It's just Ronaldo's problems are outside of his ability and his fitness.
Yeah. I mean, Rat says, yeah, Tony, 320 million Champions League brings in his massive sponsors. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they've got all the sponsors there, haven't they? I mean, you've got Continental, too many to mention, to be fair.
And the other thing...
Tanji says, Miggy is one of those players who is that fit he could probably play past 35-year-old. Yeah, absolutely, Tanji. Definitely.
I was just going to say about the sponsors and the money for the Champions League.
Yeah.
You get more sponsor. You can up the sponsorship fees when you play in Champions League. So the current sponsors you have will pay more.
Yeah. I mean, Rat says, it's Silverstone who's bringing in these top sponsors. He got Arsenal to visit their Visit Rwanda and £300 million Adidas deal. Yeah, Peter Silverstone, he's the one who's doing all this. I mean, he's absolutely brilliant. Maybe that's why we're looking at maybe going back to Adidas as a shirt supplier as well. I mean, I think Darren Eales is trying to get rid of Castore. Castore probably don't want to go, but to be fair, at like £5 or £6 million a year, you need rid of people like that because you need to bring in the bigger deals and someone like Adidas. Plus, we would love to see Adidas back at the club because he made some terrific shirts for us, that's for sure. Paul says, do you think Bobby Clark will end up back at the club one day? I'm not sure, Paul, but I tell you what, should never have gone in the first place. But that was down to our former owner, that was.
Yeah.
And I can understand why his dad, Lee, didn't want him staying here as well.
Yeah.
I mean,
he didn't want him to get time,
Lee didn't want him just getting ruined, did he? So
because that's the other thing. That's all that would have happened is he may have gotten to. I mean, the case in point is Matty Longstaff. Got his debut against Man United, scored, looked good, and then had a season under Bruce. He'll be out of the club in the summer.
Yeah, absolutely. Rat says, hey Tony, if we are both old enough to remember what Keegan did in '94, if Eddie can recreate that, I'm behind him. But that Napoli winger and other talented players coming to mind, I think, but it will take 5. I mean, yeah, we're going to have to eventually get the quality. I mean, the guy you're on about, Kashilia, I mean, I don't think they're going to let him go for 50 million, if I'm honest. I think where the Times got that from, I don't know where they got this from, this story, by the way. I can't see them wanting 50 million. They're going to want a lot more. I know they only paid £10 million for him, believe it or not, and it looks an absolute steal. But it just shows you if you go to these Eastern European countries, like of Georgia, and you see that talent, you can pick that talent up cheap. And they can turn out to be what Kvaratskhelia is. I mean, he is a terrific player. And John waxes lyrical over him every time he watches him, as John's a big Italian fan. Wayne says, Tanji, I agree about Miggy. He's like a racehorse. Never runs out of stamina. Plays with his heart and his sleeve for his club. Yeah, absolutely he does. Yeah, he's an absolute warrior, isn't he? And he runs about. And you think, hang on, when are you going to actually tire out Miggy? And he just keeps going. He's like a Duracell bunny, isn't he? Rat says, yes, to get our youth up to scratch. Yeah, it's going to take a while for the youth to get up to scratch. Yeah, absolutely, because it's been ruined again by the former owner who didn't really care. Same as the women's. He didn't care about the women's team either, did he? They had to have their own strips and everything, didn't they? So
they weren't even part of the club until they were part of the NUFC Trust. It's only this since the new owners have come in that they've actually become part of the club. Yeah.
Paul says, evening mate, football's back. How are the lads? Absolutely, Paul. Proper football's back for a change. And we're so pleased about it. We've got rid of that crappy World Cup now. Thank God for that. We can now concentrate on proper football and concentrate on the team we love, Newcastle United. Absolutely, mate. Tanji says, we beat Leicester, Leeds and Arsenal. We are definitely running in the top 4. Yeah, absolutely. And remember, Arsenal's without Jesus as well for 3 months now because he's out with an injury. So that's it. That's a major blow for Arsenal.
I mean, they'd have to work really quick to get someone in time for the game because we play him on the 3rd, I believe it. 3rd of January. The window will be open for 3 days to get someone in and playing in that time. They need to be working on it now.
Yeah. Who knows what we're working on at the minute? Nobody knows. I mean, we could have been working on stuff over the World Cup.
I'm sure.
Rat says we get the top 4, then we will have to build that squad to keep it. I want a top left winger, a top centre CDM, and a young talented striker. Yes, we have one with Nakui, or whatever his name is, and he rates him. Yeah, I know the guy you're on about, the youngster in the under 23s. if we wanted a top CDM, I'll tell you who I'd go for. There's two I'd go for. One would be Edson Alvarez. I think he's a terrific CDM. Absolutely fantastic player. The other one is Manu Kone, who plays for Borussia Mönchengladbach. He's 21, French, and last season he played against Leipzig, and he was man of the match against Leipzig. He overran their midfield. He controlled that game, and he's a terrific bowler. And if we got him in, he would be fantastic. And at 21, again, it's Project Youth.
Have you got a picture of him?
I don't think I have got it up here at the moment. I don't think so. I haven't, not at the moment, but
because
I
think it's the one. So it's Borussia Mönchengladbach, you say? Yeah, I think that's what you mean. He looks a terrific.
He looks a really, really good prospect. I mean, I mean, I would take him at the drop of a hat, to be honest with you. But
it probably wouldn't cost too much either.
Probably about 30 or 40 million, maybe.
Yeah.
That's what he would probably cost. But one, would we get him in January? That is the only problem. I mean, would we get him in January? But maybe we would. Maybe, yeah. There you go. There's Manu Kone there. That's him. Yeah. He's a terrific young player, 21-year-old, and he would set the Premier League alight. And he can put in a nice long ball as well.
Yeah.
Doesn't score a lot of goals because he's a CDM, but his ball passing skills are amazing. If you haven't seen him, go and check him out. Go and have a look on YouTube. He's amazing, this guy, along with Alvarez. Just go back into some comments before we wrap up, because it's coming up to 7:30 and people want to get ready for the match. But yeah, so Paul says, Jesus out of February, that's a blow for Arsenal. Yeah, absolutely. Gary says, I've got this gut feeling we'll push for the title, lads. Yeah, why not? Let's go for it. Let's go for whatever we can get. Let's see where we can end up at the end of the season. That's the main thing. Did Joey Barton get banned? I don't think he did, no. Ivan Tony Correa will be over if he's found guilty, says Tanji. Yeah, it could well be. I mean, it could be a lengthy ban. Troll says, with the amount of bets he's done, he might even get banned for life. Well, yeah, I mean, you remember all them years ago when Newcastle beat Liverpool 3-0 at St James's Park and Andy Cole scored a hat-trick. Bruce Grobler had a bet on that game that Newcastle would win 3-0 and Cole would bag a hat-trick. And it's sad to think that that's what happened back then. But he was part of a betting gang from Zimbabwe or from Africa. And when you watch them goals back, you see how easy them goals go in and you think, he could have saved them. And it's just like, it's so sad to think that people go out their way to fix games like that, you know. We had it about 6 or 7 years ago with the Pakistani cricketers, the three of them who were jailed because one of them bowled wide for 6 balls, you know, because that was on part of the bet. I mean, it's just...
It's a spot betting, so they like that, and a specific over, there'd be a wide or something like that, and you made sure it's bowling on that. There are 3 of them in it. I think one was the captain, a young up-and-coming bowler, and someone else. So they were able to make sure that the right people were in position to have that wide ball in that over. It's a lot harder to do in football because one player doesn't have such a influence on the game in that respect. So you think maybe in that Liverpool game, could Grobbelaar have saved them? I'd like to think not, because Andy Cole not striker.
Well, he could have, but you know, matches. Yeah, but now City have 2 top strikers. Did you watch Alvarez for up front? Yeah, absolutely brilliant for Argentina. He was. And then he goes on, I think, about Ronaldo. He's unemployed and no one wants to touch him. Yeah, absolutely. Well, we wouldn't touch him with a barge pole, that's for sure. And he says, with all the orders not delivered and people's money taken, not given back for months, could the club not break ties with them as Castore is a bad look? I think they are. I think they found out that fans are not happy with Castore. And I think Darren Eales has touched base with a lot of fans as well. So We will see. Tangi says, not the owner says they're not selling them. Yeah, I'm surprised. I'm not surprised at that, by the way. Brighton have good scouts, Brighton and finding some good talent. Yeah, like Casido and McAllister. I mean, McAllister is a wanted man now, isn't he? So,
what a World Cup he had.
Yeah.
I think that
Foxy says,
I think he should have probably won the Golden Boot rather than Messi. I think there are at least 2, possibly 3 Argentinians that were better than Messi through the whole tournament.
Yeah. Foxy says, I mentioned Kashilia on last season on John's show. There was an opportunity to get him in another player from the Russian league on the cheap. Missed our chance. Yeah, absolutely, Foxy. Rat says, if City can pay 100 million for Grealish the clown, why can't we do it on a kid one day next summer? Who knows? Yeah, we just got to keep in with financial fair play at the moment. But once we're on a level footing with that, I'm sure the money will flow. He says, you got to remember, a lot of kids looks good till you put them in the Prem. I agree with it about us having youth, but there's no point till we get that state of art training village and top youth coaches. Yeah, absolutely. He says, for CDM, I want Sangor. He's a top CDM. Yeah, I mean, he plays for Ajax, doesn't he? I was at PSV. I can't remember which one it is. One of the Dutch clubs. Ibrahim Senghor. Paul says, Kante, yes, he's getting on now, but free in the summer, he would still do a good job. Yeah, Kante has been a terrific CDM, hasn't he? I mean, he's been an absolutely fantastic player. Tanji says, I think that buying the youth player to loan him out is a double-edged sword. I mean, they get injured or could be coached badly. You kind of trust in your potential and assets in another team's hand. Yeah, but it's the only way we can get around getting him a work permit, so we've got to loan him out, unfortunately. But he's a great prospect. Keep up the good work, Tony, says Alan. Thank you for that, Alan. Paul says, yeah, Barton was banned for 18 months for betting. Was he? Yeah, okay. I can't remember that one now, but yeah.
I think he had sort of like hundreds of illegal bets. I mean, it was a lot.
Yeah.
It was a lot of bets, but...
Wayne says, our next 2 games, if we get 6 points and go to Arsenal, get a draw or win, people think, Christ, these are title contenders. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, definitely. Foxy says, dangerous addiction betting. When you start betting on a Russian table tennis, it's time to give up, lol. Yeah, absolutely. And Tanji says, yeah, Paul Merson. And Foxy says, Tanji, problem with Merson is he's already clueless on football, so imagine him with Russian table tennis. Yeah. I can imagine him. I mean, yeah, it's absolutely hilarious, that is, isn't it? So, guys, if you like what you see, please hit the like buttons. It really does help the channel. I had 27 at the peak watching tonight, so I hope if everybody hits our like buttons, it helps the channel up the search settings and people find it more easily. Also, if you're new to the channel, then please hit the subscribe button. It helps the channel grow. And also the bell notification tells you when we've got a pre-recorded video on, a live video as we are now, or any upcoming shows. Since the show's been on, I've had 2 added subscribers, so thank you very much to the 2 that have subscribed. So that now means I'm now 15 away from getting to that magical 200 mark. So thank you very much, guys, for coming on and adding a subscription to the channel as well. Tanji says, Qual should cross the channel after doing some work experience at Cali, then he may get a work permit in a hotel for the night. Yeah, I can see where you're coming from on that one, Tanji, yeah. And yeah, on that note, guys, so we're going to wrap up because it's nearly 20-8 and everybody wants to get and watch the game and get ourselves ready, get a few drinks ready together and have a few Budweisers or whiskies or whatever you're going to drink, or even if you just drink water or Coke or whatever. But enjoy the game, guys, and let's hope the 2 are in the next round, the quarterfinals, and then let's hope we get a good quarterfinal draw at home as well, and then roll on to the semi-finals. But yeah, it's going to be a fascinating game tonight, but let's hope it's on the right result and the 2 win. So thank you once again, guys, and I'll see you on the next show. And thank you for coming on tonight as well, Rolly. I'll speak to you backstage. And so from me, from Rolly, from It's All Black and White TV, it's a bye-bye for now, and enjoy your evening, guys. Bye-bye.
Way the lads.